All right, we are live, Mike Tay.
Woo!
Surprise Hackfort live.
Yeah, those are the best kind.
Yeah, well
Impromptu.
this time of year we got a lot going on. I'm actually out of town later this week, and so Mike and I still really wanted to get live and
Yeah,
chat and say hi.
I might game on Thursday.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
I've been playing the Horizon Zero Dawn on PC.
Oh, you bought it for PC?
Yeah,
I hear it look like. I mean, of course, it looks even better than it does on the PS4, but
yeah. I, again, like my PC
can't handle it.
can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what? I just built this thing like a year ago.
Well, you've had your graphics card for a while now, though.
I guess. What is it? A 1080?
Yeah.
It's a 1080. It should be fine.
I mean, my 1080.
But I still haven't fixed my RAM that Dennis
Oh,
pointed
the
out.
dual channel.
Maybe that's just the whole thing, and I just need to do that, and it'll work fine.
I think it's going to be a minuscule bump in performance, but
We'll see.
um, yeah. No, that game looks awesome. I mean, it is awesome.
It is. I've played it before. I almost platinumed it, but I started to replay it
Mm-hmm.
on the PlayStation like a couple months ago, and then they announced that it was coming to
Yeah.
PC, and I stopped.
Uh,
So I'm like, I'm gonna get it on PC.
oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I actually I like because I got a new PS4. I like lost my save because I didn't cloud save it for whatever reason.
What?
So I was like, okay, I'll just start over, and I put it on like on the difficulty. There's like story mode,
Mm-hmm.
and it's seriously the funnest game I've ever played.
Just
It
laughable.
well, like there's no like enemies are just there to be there, like, and you kind of feel like a Jedi or something because like I'm just like you'll like take on a group of bandits and you'll just be like one arrowing everybody and like just like smoking them, and it's all like one hit, and like it's just really funny because it's
Even like the big machines.
oh,
Like,
you smoke like robot dinosaurs. Yeah, again, you're just like whack, and it's just like, and then they like drop everything that they can possibly drop. So you're just like
wow,
over encumbered all the time, and it's pretty funny.
that's funny.
But yeah, I'm almost caught up to where I was, and then you can just change the difficulty. So I'm just gonna like put it back to normal and
Yeah, I'm doing hard now, and it's
hard.
not actually hard because like
Yeah.
you have a mouse and keyboard now,
Yeah,
so like
your precision's really high.
yeah, huge like I'm smoking
Yeah.
these machines that I used to struggle.
Yeah, because
with
you have
a
to
lot.
hit like that's what I noticed on the PS4 Pro. I have it in super sampling mode, and I realized it wasn't worth it because the frame rate's not as good, and you need a pretty smooth frame rate to like play it well. So I changed it back to performance, like over looks,
Yeah,
because it just didn't seem to run like it was choppy for aiming. So yeah,
yeah. There's my
um,
the game does crash quite a bit for me, and apparently there's been a lot of reports of the game just crashing for people.
mm-hmm.
So I hope they fix that soon. But like every, I don't know, 2 hours or so, it'll crash. I don't know where. So it's been really annoying.
Yeah, but it's a
just
new,
gotta
you know,
save a lot.
they'll patch it. I mean, it's a new launch. Like they'll patch
Yeah.
it up and it'll be fine. I mean, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, well, that's cool. Um, yeah, I mean, we're still trying to work on content and do all this fun stuff, and you know, Shreveport, obviously, we're still shooting for early next year. Well, we haven't really talked about it on stream. We just Shreveport launched the crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah.
So
WeFunder.com
yeah,
slash Treefort.
yeah. So if you go to wefunder.com/Treefort, you can actually invest in our festival, which is really really cool.
Can be a part owner.
Yeah, so you know it's one thing we're trying to do to kind of get through the pandemic and just find a new way forward. And WeFunder seemed like the most, because Shreveport's such a community driven event anyways. We figure why not allow the actual community to invest and become part owner. So I think they're still trying to figure out a lot what that means, but I think in the end it's just ownership, and potentially there's going to be dividends in the future, and or you know I don't know where that's going to take us, but
Maybe.
it's definitely something new.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike and I are both pretty committed to just working on building content on here online while we work to the next festival, and yeah.
Yeah, and it's honestly, this is where the curveballs I was telling you about I wanted to throw in.
Yeah, what curveball, Mike?
Well, like this is like the only quasi-social thing I do regularly,
Mm-hmm.
and it's every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just trying to say it's really fun for me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like I need this.
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely my break from just all of it, I guess. I mean, Hackfort's always kind of been that, even though sometimes it's a lot of work. Like
Yeah.
it is like the community, being part of the community and being, building up to Shreveport, even though it's a ton of work, it's a very rewarding break from everything else in our lives, right? I mean, our normal jobs, whatever.
Yeah. I don't like to admit how often I would like think of Hackfort stuff or be like do a tiny little Hackfort thing while I probably maybe shouldn't have on the clock.
Yeah, but that's just part of the job.
Like you have to be on call for Hackfort.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, like recruiting all the talent that we recruited for this last one that didn't. We had to accommodate everyone's schedules. You have to have a Zoom call at whatever.
Yeah, you just kind of have to make it work. You had to make that sacrifice. I mean, luckily we had jobs that are pretty flexible. I mean, and understanding it's like, hey, I got to make these phone calls during the day sometimes because those other people also have normal days too. Yeah. No, I mean this is an escape. I mean, this is the time we live in, right, Mike? I mean.
Yeah.
I never would have thought we'd be sitting in a room wearing masks, doing a podcast together during a pandemic, if you asked me that like a year ago.
Yeah. This is not where I would expect to be. It wasn't in my 5-year plan.
No, it was not in our 5-year plan.
Doing Hackfort Live was our plan from the get-go.
Yeah, it's funny, how it really was our plan. Initially we really wanted to expand, and, it just so happens that this is really the only way we can connect at this point, so it works. And I think it just pushed you and I to work on it more, so.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Finally, got it off the ground. And I'm noticing, a couple years ago, I was trying to get
something,
Boise State to live stream. I was trying to get we brought up live streaming to a lot of people. You should do that. Now suddenly,
now it's normal.
Yeah, you have to, and people are dang. If only we had the infrastructure in place already. Yeah, I hate to say I don't know. Maybe we're just oracles.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's what you and I are into. We're into what's the next thing, right? I mean.
Well, yeah, and then speaking of the next thing, your index.
Yeah.
And Oculus,
VR.
Last year, I brought up the Alt Space VR.
Mm-hmm.
They have events. They have VR events in this app, and I see the huge potential for there, and I mean, it's already huge for their community. I mean, it's not mainstream yet because VR's not exactly mainstream yet.
Yeah.
But, Facebook saw it 5 years ago or whatever, and that's why they bought Oculus. That's a future.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of that, I don't know if you saw this, Mike. I actually pulled this up already, but leaked images of a pure updated Oculus Quest. Looks like they're switching to white.
Yeah, I saw this. I wasn't sure how real it was.
It was pretty prolific for a couple days, so I imagine it's probably accurate-ish.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I think you and I talked about this.
They're definitely going to make another one. Like,
yeah, I just think from a cycle refresh, it makes sense for them to come out with one quickly that's like the S model or something. It's lighter, faster.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, that was an interesting find.
I do love the Quest. It's an excellent device.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it pushed VR way more forward than anything else.
Yeah.
Accessibility was huge. I think getting it away from the powerful PC is smart. You know, even my Oculus, I mean, it's amazing, but you know, the index it's really cool. It's great. But you're still tethered to a PC, and I just think there's so much limitation there. And you know, I would rather just be able to go to any open space and just use it. You know, and yeah.
I'm still pretty eager to try the index though.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely should. We'll get to that. That was one thing you and I. Oh, the other thing you and I were talking about last week was that giant Nintendo leak.
Right.
I found this one that I thought was really interesting because there's all these archivists that are trying to save every single ROM and every little thing out there. And now this like giant leak of stuff that wasn't supposed to be out there is out there, and all these archivists don't know if they should be holding it.
Yeah, it's a huge dilemma.
Yeah.
As it says, like,
yeah,
it's not exactly ethical for them to archive this stuff, but then again, it's everywhere. So like, it's already public knowledge now, whether the company wanted it or not. So.
This was great. Like, this was like a quoter. Yeah. What? WTF? I haven't seen this tool I made for StarCraft 2 in almost 30 years. I wrote it early C++ to teach myself the language more than anything else. Where the hell the hackers got all my obscure data from? You know, it's like, holy smokes. Like, how did they get all this stuff, you know? And
that's pretty crazy.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, all sorts of cool discoveries. Like, you could see the early versions of Yoshi.
Luigi was in Mario 64.
Yeah. Which he ended up being in the DS version.
Yeah.
Too, but maybe they just, like, used those assets that they already made from the 64.
How'd that work on the DS version? Was it 2-player? Or you just picked Luigi?
No, he's just another character. You could be Yoshi, too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the DS version was awesome.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know what to do if I was an archivist in that regard, but I think it's cool that there's guys trying to, because Nintendo, like, it's like a whole thing. Like, Nintendo doesn't really seem interested in saving all this stuff, so there's like this giant community trying to like have ROM files that are archived and saved and pressed, and even though ROMs are illegal, like, having them isn't. It's like a whole weird thing.
Yeah, they're like. I like to say it's not if you own the game.
Scotch Brand introduces Flex and Seal Shipping Roll, an easy shipping solution that eliminates up to half the supplies, time, and space of boxes. An easier way to ship has arrived.
Thank you.
Kotaku. It's a strike on Kotaku.
Yeah, auto run. Now, actually, that's something I was like excited about. That I don't know. Have you heard of do you ever heard of the Analog NT, Mike?
No.
So this is a company that like makes retro consoles that play old games, but outputs them to HDMI. But they actually reverse engineer the old hardware, so it's actual physical hardware instead of emulation. And so it's way better in like every way. And their consoles are pretty expensive, but they work really well. Well, they just created a Game Boy that pretty much plays every old Game Boy cartridge, and it's insane. And it'll even play Sega cartridges too, I believe. It sold out in like 15 seconds or something, or 15 minutes or something, and people were like livid. And so Analog's like looking at new ways. I mean, it wasn't cheap either. Yeah, it was like $200, and there's a dock for it too. But people are just like going ballistic because it's actual hardware, not emulation, running these games. You know, so
like
people
the games that you already have.
Yeah, all the cartridges. You know,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it has like adapters for the different types of cartridges. If you have like But yeah, and then the other big thing is their hardware is just
How did they
premium hardware.
do that?
Yeah, they just reverse engineered
Reverse-engineered
the
it?
old silicone, and they're using basically a similar type of silicone, but they're and it's really cool. I mean, and it's got like a 1440p display. It upscales. It does all this like great stuff to the old games.
Does it save state or rewind?
Probably.
Some of those
I
old
don't
games
know
are
if this does or not.
so hard.
But like the dock does HDMI out. And like this is a cool company. I mean, people were pretty upset about how fast it sold out, but hopefully they'll just keep making them because I think this is I think the one thing to note too is just the quality of their hardware is like as good as Nintendo. Like they strive themselves on that. In fact, if not better. Like I remember the first thing they did was an NES, but it was like machined out of aluminum. And it's like really premium and like.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really cool company. I'm definitely interested in one of those, but.
Get it.
Yeah, we'll see. When's your Lego kit get here?
Tomorrow.
Really?
I'm so excited.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm jealous.
Should be.
Well, that's something we're definitely going to have to talk about on the show.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just stream myself.
Yeah, that might
building
be.
it.
You could do that. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know.
It'll take me weeks.
Some
though.
ASMR.
Yeah. I'm not going to finish it in...
God, I used to be so good at
One
building
sitting.
Legos. I could just rip through it. Like,
This is
They-
like
yeah.
2,500 pieces or
Yeah.
something. Or the rocket that I built was that took me a couple weeks. So I only did like 1 or 2 bags of sitting. I like to space it out
Mm-hmm.
because I'll just be sad once it's done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the funny thing is like they give them to you in all those packages. It's like they're making it so easy for you. When Legos used to come in like it was just one big giant grid,
ugh.
and with all the different pieces, and so you had to like, it just kind of they made it. The newer ones are packaged way easier. It's like by bag.
Yeah.
Some people like to actually people that are really into it though. They'll unpackage all the bags and they line everything out before they build. Yeah.
Wow.
The guy, I've watched people do that online, and I'm like, okay, but they set all the pieces out and then put them together. So it's like, I don't know. I don't have the patience for that.
No, I don't have the space for that.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
maybe if I did it at one sitting.
Yeah.
But
I remember they did the guys on Tested did that with the new Millennium Falcon, but they would have people setting out pieces and organizing them while other people were building them, and I just thought that was like it's like, okay, why don't you just
yeah, that takes the enjoyment out of it.
yeah,
I don't know. I can see the enjoyment of organizing it all though.
I guess.
But like, how confusing would that be when you're trying to find like one tiny little piece?
Yeah.
And there's like different pieces that look kind of similar to that one piece,
Yeah.
and you gotta like.
I guess when you get used to Legos too, you know exactly what type of piece is, but
Yeah, I'm not used to it yet. There's some gripes I have with their instructions.
really,
Yeah.
they're like known for their instructions.
I know, but
That's crazy.
like, sometimes they change the color of Legos. Like,
I think they do that intentionally though to help you make it stick out
yeah,
based on where it needs to go.
yeah, but they don't tell you that they're doing that intentionally.
But the shape's the same.
Yeah, but
I mean, it doesn't help people that are colorblind.
see, here's the problem with it. It's like they refuse to have words for whatever reason, because then you gotta like pay for localization and translation. You gotta have it in a million languages. So I see why they don't want words.
I think they also don't do it because I learned how to put Legos together based on the instructions before I could speak.
Yeah.
So there's something to that.
Well, yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
But when you base,
Yeah.
when you have two pieces that
Yeah.
are one's light gray and one's dark gray,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next page, they change one of them to like black.
Mm-hmm. Is it always black?
No, they do it. They do it for a reason, but they should include
I'm just yeah.
little text like,
They
hey,
might.
hey, we added like one of the pieces is black. It's actually the gray one. Because it's confusing. Because then when you look at the next page and you see that there's a black thing, then you have to look through all your pieces. You're like, wait, I don't see one that's black.
Yeah, but I guess I've never had that issue because I'm always paying attention to what the shapes are and how the shapes go together, not the color.
Well, again, if they're two of the same piece, the two of the same shapes that you're dealing with, just different colors.
But I guess if the color matters on the aesthetic of the thing, it could be an issue. But I've never had.
It is an issue. I'm telling you, it's an issue.
I don't know. I've been rebuilding my Technic spaceship, and I haven't had any issues with that at all.
I can give you exact examples if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never had an issue, but I've built probably 200, 300 Lego sets, though, so maybe it's just something I don't even think about.
This might be something you've learned Lego does, but as a new Lego person and
I guess
an instructions writer,
mm-hmm.
I acknowledge these things.
I know, but it's interesting to me because they're like literally known for instructions. I mean, that's their whole thing is taking parts and putting them together using instructions. So it's like,
and I think it's pretty good.
Yeah,
could be better.
Huh? I'd love for you to go to Denmark and tell them that.
I will.
Well, this is something I'm really excited about, and that is they finally released the new version of my camera, and I don't even have the second version. This is the third version, but this camera is the Sony A7S3, is unbelievable. They're just great for low light, and I love doing like stellar photography and stuff. And because these things can shoot so such like low light, you can just capture so much. And so if you're trying to shoot stars, for example, you just have so much range in what you can pull into the camera. Of course, it's way more expensive. It's like over $1,000 more or $1,500 more than I probably paid for mine. It's like $4,000, $3,500. Really cool though. I wanted to say what the ISO range was on this. It can shoot to. It's like some absurd number that you would never use. And it does dual cards now too, 4K video. It does all this stuff that mine couldn't even think about doing. And they don't have it on here. What was it? I don't see it. But yeah, it shoots like 400,000 ISO or some absurd amount, which you would never use, but it just shows you how sensitive that sensor is. I mean, really, 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 really cool. Hopefully someday I'll be able to upgrade to one of these. Looks like they've improved like all the buttons a lot too and stuff. But Sony definitely knows what they're doing.
I don't know anything about cameras. I can't really. Who's the audience for this? Professional photographers?
I would say photographers and filmographers. Actually, the A7S is actually more attractive for filmmakers because in film mode you don't get as much grain, and so you can shoot without like a light at night and get really good video without using any lighting equipment. And so filmmakers love it. I mean, and mine's actually great for that too. I've been on some shoots. Like I remember Cody used it, and it was amazing what he was able to do at night. Just so sensitive. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like a landscape photographer. I really enjoy what it can do. Of course, I'd love a new lens for it too, but you know.
My office bought a quote-unquote nice camera. I don't know anything about it, but someone told us it was nice. And I went out and tried to like take some photos with it in like auto mode. Mm-hmm. It was like garbage. It was like blurry. It was like the light was crappy.
Do you know
what
the brand was?
I don't know. Nokia or something. Not Nokia. Kodak. No, I don't know. I don't know, but I assume it was user error. So I ended up just using my cell phone, and
it was way better.
It was way better. So there's a lot I don't understand with camera. I'm sure like just a small little crash course on all the buttons and like
I mean, it's all relative,
do
right?
stuff.
Like, if you're just putting a camera on auto and it does a really bad job, I mean, my Sony's okay. It's okay. The new ones are way better. They have, like, phase detect. Like, mine has, like, I don't know, 40 autofocus detection points, whereas, like, the new ones have, like, 250, you know? So it's, like, it just kind of depends, you know, but it's, like, cell phone cameras really have, like, I think if you like just want to take photos, it's a hard argument at this point not just to use a cell phone, you know. But if you want manual control, it's still, you can't touch a camera, you know. And I shoot mostly in manual, you know, for the most part, you know, with some autofocus, but you know, it's all relative, you know. And
I really like the stuff you're able to do with the exposure, long exposure.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
Awesome photo we took of me and the galaxy and stuff.
Oh yeah, super fun. I love doing that stuff. You know, I just like landscape photos in general a lot. You know, and doing long exposures is really fun with the stars and yeah, no, it's cool.
Apparently our phones can do that.
Yeah, I've tried. It's pretty much just not great at all.
Have you tried it with a tripod?
Yeah, I just set it against something, and I just was not impressed at all.
I haven't done it.
Yeah, it's not great.
I didn't think it'd be like amazing.
It might be like the biggest gimmick they like it can do this, and it's like, well, just because it can doesn't mean you should, and that was a great example of that. You know, that guy
in Stanley when the stars are everywhere.
That guy quit Pixel. Like quit working on the Pixel, the guy who was like famous for all their photo processing.
Really?
I mean, it says he quit. He left the company on, you know, but I think he got like fired because I think like the Pixel 4 was a huge flop for them. So
was it?
Yeah, it was.
I like it.
I mean, I like mine too, but it didn't do well, like at all. Like they actually stopped selling them online. I don't know if you saw that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I thought they made a new version.
There's the Pixel 4a that's $350. It's not as good, like.
It's the cheaper version.
Yeah, it's the cheaper version. But when they released that, they stopped selling the Pixel 4 altogether.
So you think they're gonna?
There
do
should
a Pixel 5 here
There
soon?
should be one this fall, I think. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I love the Pixel phones, but I'm kind of like I might kind of wait to see what comes out next. I think the new Galaxy Fold's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Folding smartphone. That's about as Star Trek as it gets.
Pretty cool. I miss flip phones. Like that one, the Razor, I think.
Oh, the Razor, yeah.
I was pretty hopeful that would be cool again.
And it, I don't think it did that well.
No, there was some huge flaw with it, but...
It made, really uncomfortable noises. I think that was the big thing, too, is it just sounded like... and people were just like, I don't know. Glass screen or whatever.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But I think Samsung made the Z Flip, which flips like a flip phone and has a glass screen and does it way better than the...
Really?
Yeah. So maybe you should get a Z Flip next.
Maybe. I kind of want a flip phone. Those are pretty fast.
I want a phone that
I just want my old
shoots
phone.
open like in the Matrix.
I don't want a smartphone anymore.
Yeah, you want to go back to a dumb phone?
Yeah.
It'd be cool if we all kind of just went backwards, but it's not going to work like that.
It'd be a cool
I've got my dumb phone from high school.
You do?
Yeah, it's over here. Actually, let me see if I can find it.
I think I used to have it. I think I finally recycled it or something.
I think it's in here.
Does it have Snake? Is it one of the
know.
really old ones? The Nokia?
Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah. LG.
Oh.
That's it. That's it right there.
It's got a keyboard.
Flips open. See?
And the keyboard.
QWERTY keyboard. This was so ahead of its time. I could text.
Dude.
I wonder if I powered it on. I wonder if I have text messages from you and Nat on here and Joe. I bet I do.
That'd be
Had a camera.
pretty crazy.
Had a camera with a.
What did we even text each other about?
I don't know.
Man.
Had an envy button. Oh yeah, this was an LG envy. Oh yeah, and you could on the front you could dial and make normal phone calls. This is so ahead of its time.
It's so cool. All you need is text and calling. Like what?
It had Bluetooth and micro SD.
What?
Do I have? Oh wow, I have an SD card in there. I don't even want to know what that on that. I wonder if there's photos on it.
Ooh.
Wow. There's probably a treasure trove on here. We should try to plug this guy in.
Yeah. Maybe not on stream.
Yeah. Do you want to go back to this, Mike?
I kind of do. Like, having a smartphone and, like, you know, I'll admit it, doing Hackfort things for social media, it's stressful.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and we're dipping our toes into social media things at work now, too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to end up managing our department's, well, in a way, our division's social media account. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's something I can do. I just don't enjoy it. Because being on social media just stresses me out with all
Yeah.
the toxicity and, like...
It's definitely not the same as it was, that's for sure.
No, it used to be so much fun. I used to love Facebook when it was, like, college kids only. It was so cool. You just like posted photos of the parties you were going to, and you'd like make a Facebook event for like a movie night or like cocktails somewhere, and like everyone would just like attend it, and then it was great.
Yeah.
Ads were not even on it at the time. Can you imagine?
It's total insanity now. That's for sure.
Yeah. They didn't like use AI to analyze every photo that's on Facebook at that time. They didn't monitor all your stuff. It's a totally different world.
Yeah, no, that's true. I remember, you know, it was MySpace. You got to make your own page, which was kind of cool.
I loved MySpace too. I had such an awesome MySpace page.
I know you did.
I spent a lot of time on that HTML.
Yeah, me too. And then
And I was on almost everyone's top 8.
Yeah.
Because I was an early adopter of MySpace.
Yeah.
And that's how it worked back then.
I think you had top 10, and then they kept shrinking it down, didn't they?
No, they made it more. They gave you top 16.
Oh.
and then they allowed you finally to change the order of your top,
Yeah.
and then like that would cause all sorts of drama.
Well, I just remember you could control
hey,
the
man,
order.
I saw you bump me down to like top 9.
I just remember that's how you could, like, if you were like into a girl, you'd like add her to your top, and she'd be like, oh.
Yeah. You comment on her.
Well, then I remember when
when
Facebook came out, I was legitimately, it was my freshman year of college, like, and everyone's like, hey, you have to have a university email to join this. And I was able to get in, and I remember it was just like interesting because it had exclusivity too. It was like colleges only.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, and then I remember there was like high school kids making fake accounts, and I remember like just totally spamming them out. I mean, like, no, you can't be on here. Like, I remember like I accosted Joe's sister. So now,
what are you doing?
Yeah, you're not 18. You're not, and like, it was pretty funny because to me it was like I liked that exclusivity, and of course it's not exclusive at all anymore.
An awesome platform. And
yeah.
There's a lot of things the old internet was awesome about for.
Yeah, now it's just so
exist.
amalgamous now. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. The internet's not what the internet was. That's for sure.
No, well, yeah. I almost wonder if there's like opportunity. Well, I know there are social networks that try to harken back to that time now. You're like, hey, there's no ads on this one. There's no ads. Like, we're not gonna.
Yeah.
And they exist. I forgot the name of it, but
yeah.
I don't know. I think it'd be cool to go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just like push a like button or push a share button or retweet button, because that that makes it so much lazier than the
Yeah.
engagement that used to go on too.
Yeah. No, I mean it's all about likes and dopamine and swipes. Likes, swipes, and dopamine. I don't really know what else to tell you.
Notifications.
Yeah. Notifications are the worst. I turn them off for the most part.
I try to.
Little bubbles.
Speaking of notifications, he hasn't responded yet.
Well, let's I wanted to touch this, like Qualcomm, which is like they're in charge of the fast speed standard for charging. They just announced Quick Charge 5, which can do up to more than 100 watts of charging speed on a smartphone, which sounds insane. But they're saying 0 to 50% in 5 minutes and fully charge a phone in 15 minutes.
What?
To me, that seems like a lot of power going into a battery, though. And I don't know if that's necessarily good for the battery.
Yeah.
So like, but it seems rad. I mean, dual charge, smart identification. There's all this crazy stuff they're saying it can do. But I just thought that was interesting that the new standard's coming.
And it's cooler? How do they do
I
that?
don't know. It might just be how they're applying the power. I don't know. It might be a battery technology to go with it. 100-watt plus charging though.
Jeez.
Yeah, so pretty funny.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, let's chat about the index. I got this guy here.
Okay.
I just recently, in an accidental way, purchased one of these. Not very accidental, but I was on the wait list to get one and was just waiting and waiting. I was like, oh, if I have the money, I'll get one. And then I got like this email that said like, oh, make sure to update your Steam wallet. And I just like didn't think about it. I didn't read the whole email, and I like did. I was like, oh yeah, I haven't checked my credit card in a while, and I like updated it, and then I immediately got this email. It's like, your index is now being processed, and I was like, oh. And I was like busy at work, and I was like, okay, I guess I just bought a Valve Index. But yeah, these are the controllers, which I think they are amazing. I mean, everyone was talking about the controllers when it came out. It has like a bungee cord that hooks to your actual palm, so your hands don't have to be holding it. And there's sensors all over these things that actually track the movement of your fingers. So around the trigger, around the grip. So you actually, in the game, can go and grab something, pick it up, and let it go. Which is funny because I've been so used to the other controllers that this is like counterintuitive for me. I'm getting pretty used to it now.
Yeah.
But I'm used to holding a button to grab something in VR. And so far, it's been really cool. I mean, it's Valve. They do a really good job, honestly, on their stuff.
Yeah.
The headset is really, really good. I would say it's like, as far as clarity and stuff, though, it's very similar to the Quest. It really is.
Really?
I mean, you can try it, Mike, and you'll be able to. I'll love your opinion because you've been using the Quest a lot more. I mean, the difference for sure is that this can run at a way higher frame rate.
Yeah.
And my graphics card, it scales the resolution based on how powerful your card is. I don't think mine's necessarily powerful enough to really scale it at a high resolution, so that could be part of it. But clarity for me is the big thing. Like, that, does it have a screen door and stuff? To me, it just looked really similar to the Quest. Like,
Wow.
I couldn't really tell much of a difference.
What's the field of view? Is the field of view better?
It technically has the biggest field of view of anyone, because you can adjust the lens inside and out to get it closer. So it's like 170 something, but again, like, to me, I always find myself adjusting it till it's more comfortable, because when it's all the way in, it feels, I don't know, it's okay. It's not like, I wouldn't say it's like a game changer or anything like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. The sound's really good, although it seems quiet, and I was reading the forum about that. There might be some settings I need to change, because the speakers just sit over your ears, like, they don't touch your ears, and the idea is to try to create like spatial sound. So
Is it comfortable?
yeah, definitely comfy.
Quest isn't very comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had any issues. Yeah, here's the headset. But yeah, these speakers just kind of sit over your ear. And yeah, the lenses are in there. Pretty cool. And yeah, and you can adjust. So you have this knob on the side that you can adjust this in and out. to get the lenses closer to your eye. The other
Oh.
benefit to this is if you have glasses, you can really dial it into your glasses,
Yeah.
which is huge for people that have to wear glasses in VR. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited
Those lenses
to.
are massive.
Yeah, they're big. They're big. So I mean, that's where you're getting that field of view from for sure.
Yeah. Ooh.
But they're very similar. I mean, they look like the shape looks really similar to like the Quest, you know, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think industry wise, they're obviously really trying to use what works best, you know, and
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be fun for us to, I don't know, fire up a game and
I
try.
still want to, like, do some of those VR games that we both have.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
just watch a movie on big screen VR.
That'd be sweet. You know, any of those cross-platform games, I'm like down to do that more because it was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Rec Room, as simple as it is
Like, we should all get Alt Space VR and just, like...
Well, dude, we did...
Or VR chat.
No, VR chat. Dude, Brendan and I did VR chat one night, and we were dying because, like... VR chat is probably actually the closest thing we can get to what the original internet was like. You know, it's like
Yeah, just
random
the
chat
Wild West.
rooms, and there's just weird people in them. And you and you and your friends can just like work. We just follow each other around, and we just like work from place to place, and
Yeah.
it's just a total weird. Yeah,
What's your avatar? And
I kept changing it like constantly because there's like a billion to choose from. I think I was like, what was I last time I was in there? It was something funny that I like.
can you pick, like, preset ones?
There's just like people can upload avatars, and so there's literally hundreds.
Like, even copyright protected ones?
Yeah, oh, tons of copyright protected ones.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you'd find tons, like, and yeah, it's pretty funny. Like,
I gotta play that.
yeah, it'd
I
be
have it. I just
yeah.
never...
No, we should do a
used it.
VR chat night. It'd be pretty funny. It'd be funny just to do like Hackfort Live in VR chat. I don't see why we couldn't do that.
That or Alt Space.
Yeah, we could just stream Hackfort Live. We could like we could have our guests meet us in VR chat.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I don't see why we couldn't do that. It kind of fits what we do.
Yeah. And stream it.
But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of like cross-platform games that are free that we really should play with. I actually want to try. We should try to do No Man's Sky in VR.
Yeah. I should do that.
I need to just give that game more time too. There's just a lot of resource management in that game, but
Yeah, it was
just would love to
stressful in the beginning.
it'd just be really nice to get to the point where we have one of those big ships together, because then we can like actually explore planets together and stuff. The game doesn't seem like they need to fix from the cooperative standpoint that like you're all kind of doing your own thing in the beginning. You shouldn't do that. Like they really should make it so like we're like if it is cooperative, like we're all repairing the same ship, and like I just think it would make it a lot better of an experience instead of like
Right.
so you just basically be in the same world but not, which is kind of dumb.
Yeah, and you all have your own objectives.
Yeah.
Not like a team objective.
Well, yeah. Well, anything else, Mike? Is there any other weird questions? Didn't you have a couple weird just rants and raves about?
Probably. I don't know. This has been like a season of self-reflection for me.
I don't think you're the only person that's in that situation, though. I think a lot of people right now are reflecting on their jobs, on their career. You know, this pandemic is making us all reevaluate our lifestyles, right? Like,
Totally.
It's hard. You know, I talk in my day job. I talk with my coworkers all the time about, you know, wow, this is hard. This is tough. You know, and I think the biggest thing to realize is you're not alone in that regard. You know, it's like everyone is feeling the strain and the stress of this global pandemic, and you know, we all have to just kind of find a way to move forward bit by bit, you know. And
So when you're working with your coworkers, you have like a constant chat going, like a
yeah, we have a group chat for our
video.
sales team. One thing that we did that I think actually ended up working really well, I think we're in more communication than we've ever been, is we have like a water cooler chat 2 times a week at the end of the day, where we all just log on and chat about anything. And that's actually really kind of, I think, lets people kind of blow steam. or bring something really, really cool to the sales team or whatever. That's like, oh man, like this happened, or we found this new product, and that's helped, but having that's been really helpful. And I think communicating with your coworkers, even though we're all for the most part remote,
Yeah.
giving people a call and just seeing how they're doing. And
Yeah, I scheduled a meeting once a week with one of my coworkers for
just
That's chatting.
smart. That's really smart. I think it's important. I don't think before the pandemic, I don't think organizations really thought about like the time in between, in between your tasks, the things you do. But I think actually communicating with your coworkers and just socializing is an extremely, important part of a healthy organization, and
Yeah.
I don't.
Before this, like that was seen as like, oh, you're just wasting time.
Yeah.
You're just
Well, and, right, and there is a time and place for it, right? But it was like a very important. It's important. I would argue it's so important, and
yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah. It's definitely a long haul. I think the big thing is like, who would have thought that like where we are now from where we were before this all started? I mean, we're not even. I don't think we're at the full peak of it yet. And that's the interesting thing. And
it's still
yeah.
it's gonna be a while. Even
Yeah.
even if there's a vaccine,
Yeah.
like there's a ludicrously large
Yeah.
amount of people that won't get it.
Yep. And it's going to take a long time, even with a vaccine, for normality, right?
Right.
So.
Herd immunity.
Yep. Yep. So. Well, yeah.
Yeah. So. Anyway, I don't know. That's one of.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah.
Whatever. A lot of people are feeling the same way. I know.
It's.
And then there's the added uncertainty with my specific like job that I'm
I think that you just gotta just be smart, keep moving forward. I mean, and you've been looking for that career fit for a while, and just don't sell yourself short, dude. I mean, so we'll get through it.
We will. So, but in the meantime, doing all this stuff has been really nice.
Yeah, it's a fun break from all of it, just to chat, just to geek out, be buds.
And just like planning it, like strategizing around it, like building the YouTube channel, like doing it all right.
Yeah. There's
still some more stuff.
Totally.
That we could and should do.
And we will.
But it's, something to do, something to occupy ourselves when we're not stressing out about planning a giant event.
Yeah, buddy. We can equally stress ourselves out about this while we're also planning a giant event. So but hopefully we'll get some more interns, and it'll be fun. I mean, we'll see how this fall goes. I think the nice thing is we'll probably start planning this next fall, in theory. So, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Well. Coolio. Thanks to anybody who tuned in.
Yeah.
If not, we'll see you in the digital upload at some point.
Yep.
Word. Let's play some music.
There it is.
Oh, I need to turn up the music.